Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Mark Stoops News Conference. Appreciate you joining us today. And at this time, we will let Coach Stoops have his opening statement, and then we'll throw it open for questions.
Okay. Sorry I'm a touch late again. I promise you. Not on purpose, just Monday mornings are busy. So been scrambling all day, trying to get caught up and ready to go here for Missouri. But again, just like I said after the game, great team victory. I thought we really played solid in all three areas this past Saturday. It was very good to go get that victory. And now we're back on to Missouri. So a little change for us, but for us in our preparation, nothing major. We always try to get ahead and have our analysts doing some work to get ahead, but we'll be fine. Looking forward to getting with our players, cleaning up the Tennessee game, watching the film, and then moving on to Missouri. So a team that had a week off, played very good the last time out against LSU. So, we know they're getting better and better, and well-coached football team, and we expect them to again be rested and prepared for us. They probably had a few extra days. I know we all found out a little bit on Friday, but we'll caught back up and looking forward to the challenge here again this week.
All right, we're getting with questions, and we'll start with Josh Moore.
Mark, how much does that? I know it's not doesn't sound like it's too big a deal, but with those guys that kind of are doing the behind the scenes work in collecting film and stuff, how hard is that to kind of switch on the fly there for them and to get you ready for this week?
From our coaching standpoint, nothing major. I think the only negative is we're catching two teams in a row with 2 weeks to prepare and get healthy and get themselves cleaned up, like we all like to do during an open week. But as far as us and our preparation, it's not, not a major deal. We just got a little more work to do Saturday night and Sunday than typical, but that's okay. We got all that caught back up, and we just need to go out and have another really solid week and continue to build on the good things we're doing and try to get some things cleaned up.
Next is Daryl Bird.
Hey, Mark, the first 2 weeks, 0 forced turnovers and then 9 interceptions the last 2 games. Was there a conscious effort to take more risks, to go after turnovers, or is this just a freakish result of playing fundamentals better?
Yeah, just a result from overall team defense, to be honest with you. Good things happen when you get all 11 guys in the same position. We've been fortunate. We've had a lead, and they're maybe a little bit more predictable pass, although not so much in the Tennessee game because those interceptions happened early. But I think it's just guys just playing well, being in position, playing good up front, creating some pressure. Good eyes. We're playing more disciplined on the back end. Our vision has been better, and we're breaking on the football. So it's been a good group effort.
John Hale.
Mark, can you just give us an update on Quentin's status? Obviously, he looked like he was in a lot of pain there Saturday, and he's not on the depth chart today.
Yeah, Quentin will be out for a bit, but nothing major. Thank goodness for him and for us. I'm not sure how long that'll be, but he will be out this week.
John Clay.
Mark, you sort of answered this with Daryl's question, but last week one of the players said that Coach White told him that after the first 2 weeks when you hadn't forced a turnover, that sometimes when you force that first one, they tend to come in bunches. That's obviously happened with you guys. Why is that? Is there a reason for that?
Well, I'm not sure. I think some of it, as I mentioned before, with turnovers is the bounce of the ball. Let's be honest. Again, I've used this point before that one of my first year or two here, I think it was year 1 or year 2, we led the country in fumbles recovered. And it wasn't because we were knocking the snot out of somebody and the ball was coming loose. It was, we were fortunate with the bounces. Sometimes it's that way. But overall, we are playing much better defensively. There's no denying that. So when you put people in some predictable situations, whether you're ahead or whether you put them in third and longs or, just predictable situations, we're playing better. But the guys are executing really well. Brad's put them in good position. Fundamentally we're playing better. And, when all 11 guys are doing what they're supposed to do and playing extremely hard, generally good things happen.
Nick Roush?
Offensively, you got into a rhythm in the second half. What was working well, and how can you build a little momentum this week?
Yeah, I really liked the way we played offensively, in particular in the second half. In the first half, really, I felt like we were going to do the same thing. To be totally honest, we had a miscommunication. I could chuckle about it now, but I could promise you it wasn't funny at the time. We had a miscommunication on I want to say the second play of the game with Eddie's glasses. He was so hyped up. He had that mask on. His glasses got all fogged up, and he called a formation wrong. He called a play wrong. He could, and so that put us in that put us in third and long early. I think next possession we get the fumble. The Mamba screen, the screen that we had to Josh, I felt like Josh missed the cut. If he cuts it inside, he may have scored. They had a long drive. We just got a little out of kilter. And then another play that stalled a drive was called from the middle, and our players got it a little confused with the one where Terry appeared to go the wrong way, but again, it was because it was in the middle of the field. We could do a better job of calling that off a hash. So we kind of hurt ourselves on we didn't have many possessions. The second half, I thought when we started with a 3 and out and the offense goes 11 plays and I want to say around 6 minutes and scored a touchdown, was very, very big. And then we come back, get another stop. We get another long drive, maybe for 3, and then another long drive. So we possessed the ball in the second half, and I thought we did a really nice job of being aggressive with some plays were there, and Terry and the receivers and tight ends executed it well. We got some big gains from the pass game, which in turn created some space in the run game. And not let them play with the numbers at times, and we created some big plays and kept them off balance. So hopefully we'll continue to do that, keeping teams off balance with being efficient, both throwing and running.
Larry Vaught?
Mark, could you talk a little bit about the play of Austin Dodson and Kenneth Horsey this year?
Pleased with those guys. They're both getting better. Kenneth and Austin, both are guys that we like, that are really about the team, and it's about how we play when they're in the game. They obviously individually want to play well, but they want the team to play well. They work extremely hard and take on that same mentality as the offensive line that we have this year and that we've had in the past, and appreciate the work that they're putting in.
Derek Terry?
Hey, Mark, I noticed in the second half, a couple of those series, you had Jordan Wright and J.J. Weaver on the field at the same time. I hadn't noticed that yet this season. What does that package kind of do for you guys, and is that something you might experiment with a little bit more going forward?
Yeah, definitely will. I thought all 3 of those outside linebackers that really played well. I thought Boogie's sack early in the game was a major play in the game as well for momentum and to get them out of field goal position. So I thought Jamar really played a good game. And then with with Jordan playing with JJ, gives us some length, and it gives us the opportunity to rotate the 3 of them. So they both did some really good things. I thought JJ lost contain on one play early in the game and kind of got after him on the sidelines, and I love him. He responded in such a good way and played outstanding. Really, he played some really good football the rest of the game. And JJ, you saw a play with him, were very similar play with J Dubs, where they tried to reach him and get outside and get on the perimeter, and he's so long and a big, strong guy, and made a tackle for loss. So, I thought the three of those outside backers are playing really well.
Aaron Gershon.
Mark, you guys have been looking for that second receiver to step up with Josh Elliott, and it seemed like Gallen Daly was able to do that Saturday. How happy were you with his performance?
I was really happy for him personally, and because he's been so unselfish. They've worked so hard, and he's been working hard, and the opportunities are going to be there. And we talk all the time about continuing to have a strong mentality, do what's right, continue to practice hard, play hard, and the opportunities are going to come. And what are you going to do when you get the opportunity? And he certainly made the most of it, made some tough catches in the middle of the field, obviously the touchdown, and so happy for him, and it definitely helps us.
John Clay.
Mark, you mentioned your analysts earlier about doing preparation work and so forth. How valuable have those guys been to your program? And are they even more valuable in a year like this where it's such a grind where you've got 10 SEC opponents, plus you're worrying about COVID and all those other things you have to deal with? Just how valuable are those guys?
They're extremely valuable, and they all work extremely hard, and it's hard to single out any of them. Josh Sistaswal has been with me for a long time on the offensive side of the ball, works extremely hard, works with me and gives me ideas and individually, and just all of them do a great job. And on the defensive side of the ball, a guy like Greg Minuski, who's been he's been in the NFL for his whole career. He's was a player in the NFL for a long time, was a position coach in the NFL for a long time. He's been an NFL defensive coordinator, and he just got a great about him. He works so well with Brad. They have such comfort together, and he's just a great person to have around. Just his presence, I think he's just one of those guys that brings that demeanor, and very positive and confident, and it's good just to have him around and in those meetings. And so all the guys have worked extremely hard, and fortunate to have a great staff.
Josh Moore.
Mark, Kelvin Joseph is a guy that, I think seemed like he was getting ridiculed through 2 weeks, and had some, penalties and things like that I think contributed to people talking about him in that way. But the last 2 weeks I think he's kind of looking more like the guy that you expected him to be, and fans expect him to be. Did something change there in between the Mississippi State game and the Ole Miss game, or?
Well, I think Kelvin, we all knew what type of talent he has. I think he was really pressing hard early. You got to remember, this is a young man that had to sit out all of last year. So, you need to get some game reps. There's one thing to have practice reps underneath you, and there's another thing to have game reps under you. And I think he really wanted to play well, again, for himself, for his team. And sometimes when you press too much and you try to do things beyond what you're coached to do, bad things happen. That happens all the time. And again, it's not for selfish reasons. I'm thinking right now about some plays that happened in this game, even up front with our defensive line, because they've been getting a lot of pats on the back. Well, they start trying to do too much and jump around and jump out of gaps, and that's not how you're going to play effective football. In offense, defense, or special teams. So guys mean well, but sometimes when they don't do what they're coached to do, they hurt the team and they hurt themselves. And I think Kelvin let the game come to him. He had at that position, you're only going to have so many opportunities per game, and you have to make the most of it. And he's done that the past couple of weeks. He's letting the game come to him, do his job, focus on what he needs to do, and good things are going to happen to him. And that goes for all of our team, because there's some plays that we need to get ironed out still. And we have some guys that, again, I don't think it comes from a selfish place. They want to do well for the team, but when they're doing things they're not coached to do, it's not going to help anybody.
Mark Story.
Mark, how well do you know Eli Drinkwitz, if at all, and what are the challenges of going against his offense, which he obviously is well regarded? And secondly, what are your impressions of the freshman quarterback who I think you guys recruited?
Yeah. Eli, I do not know personally, but when I have been around him in our meetings and he's new to the league and everything you hear about him and you could tell just by watching him and listening to him, seems like a great person and obviously a great coach, very creative, gives you a lot of things to look at and put some pressure on you. So obviously a very good coach and seems like a great guy. And what I've been around him, I really enjoy being around him. And so, you know, with playing him, it'll be a real challenge, you know. And with Connor, he stepped in and I think gave them the spark that they needed. I think has the ability to run the offense that Eli wants to run, and you know, definitely looked very good. So doesn't surprise me that Connor's playing well. We certainly knew him out of high school. He's a great player, a great person, and so he did a very good job.
John Hale.
Mark, you talked a little bit about him after the game Saturday, but Jamin Davis seems to be one of those guys that you talk about all the time that developed over time, put the work in. Just how have you seen him progress over the years, and especially filling in for a guy like Cash that was such an important part of your defense before?
Well, it's a great example. I'll give, for instance, I don't want to name names, but there's some guys on our team right now that I believe will be very good players. And when that is, I'm not sure. But you just got to continue to work and to develop and worry about yourself. In this day and age, players worry so much what people are saying about them on Twitter, you know, how they're perceived when maybe they didn't play a good game at all. But maybe the ball fell in their lap or something good happened and everybody's patting them on the back. And when behind the scenes, you know, it's not happening. And so, you know, I think Jamin is a great example of a guy that did not play very many quality snaps in his first 2 years here, but continue to work hard, have a positive attitude, do the best he could, whether he was on scout team, getting better and you know, with the reps that he got, getting better and banking those reps. And it's a great example because I have some guys on the team that still get frustrated, and I understand that. Guys want their plays, they want their own, and but it's not what's best for the team. You know, I like all these guys, but you know, I guarantee them an opportunity, and that's what they have. And some players get frustrated because they feel like they have to get their snaps when they're not earned. And you know, I think he's a great example of to continue to just work and do things right. When you get that opportunity, make the most of it. So I'm really happy for Jamin. And, you know, he's a great example for some young players to just keep on doing what's right. And eventually you're going to get that shot.
Ken Spencer.
Yeah, Mark, that win against Tennessee was obviously big for you guys and your kids. Just how focused or how important is it to make sure that your kids mentally are not kind of worried about the past and really focused on this week and what lies ahead?
Absolutely. Most important thing. I would imagine you all could go back and look, but I'm sure I said it every Monday, you know, to the media and to our staff and certainly to our team. It's an odd year. It's really strange. It's really different. It's really hard to play 10 SEC games. And every Monday, you know, the coaches, we get back at it and get back to reality Sunday morning. We enjoy, you know, a victory for less than 24 hours, depending on what time you play. But you enjoy it for a few hours, and then it's back to work Sunday and hit the reset button. And for our players, they hear that from me every Monday. And you really have to look at it that way, whether it's a win or whether it's a loss. You got to get back to it Monday, hit the reset button. It's a whole new challenge. And, you know, it's, again, you want to win that week. You got to win today, and that's the truth.
Next is Nick Roush.
Without Bohanna in, Bully's going to get the bulk of the snaps, but also rotating in Hayes and Rogers. What have you seen from those guys in particular, and in general, the film for a lot of the true freshmen who played for the first time in the fourth quarter Saturday?
We saw some talent, but we saw some guys that need some work, to be totally honest with you. And, you know, I believe these guys can help us win SEC football games, but they've got to put in the work. They've got to get some things corrected. We have some talented young guys but they need to really have great weeks of preparation. And there's been too many missed assignments and fundamentally not doing the right things for us to win at a high level. Again, I'm very pleased, I love this group. I love their attitude. I love their willingness to take the coaching and to get better. And if you do that, then good things are going to happen. And I love these young guys, the mentality that they have. But fundamentally, we've got to get better.
Josh Moore?
Mark, how surprised were you that Tennessee let go of Coach Brumbaugh today or yesterday, whatever it was?
I'm really disappointed to hear that. I caught word of that yesterday, and I wasn't sure whether that was true or not. I didn't reach out to the friends that I have on that program, and I certainly will reach out to Jimmy, though. Jimmy, I do consider a friend, and I know him obviously personally for being with me and his family, and wish nothing but the best for him. He's a quality coach. He's a good coach, and he'll land on his feet with no problem. I have no idea what goes on there. That's not my business. But at some point, I will reach out to Jimmy, and that's disappointing.
Josh, you have a follow-up?
Yeah, it is not related to that, but you talk about not worrying about streaks, and I get that, and you're not putting the programs past on you guys, but you guys have a streak against the team you're playing this week that you have been a part of. I guess, what do you make of that? Does it matter, or does it not matter at all?
See, there's a perfect example. It means absolutely nothing, right? I mean, truthfully. I mean, it means nothing. We have to go win this week. So I don't even know what the streak is. But, this is a new staff, a new group, and I have no idea what it is because it really means nothing.
Right next is Larry Vaughn.
Yeah, Mark, could you go back and talk a little bit, though, with Quentin being out, what an opportunity this is for McCall, like what you talked about with Davis is waiting for his change. What kind of opportunity is this for Marquand to show maybe more of what he could do?
I'm really excited for Marquand because he needs to. He needs to step up. Quite honestly, we need to put that kind of pressure on him, and he needs to put that on himself to play at the level that he's capable of. And I expect him to do that. I really do. What we really miss, with Josh getting hurt 2 weeks ago, and then Q getting hurt this past week, what was a main to our team, and just nothing realized it's truly authentic. And all he was doing was motivating his team, not sitting in the training room, with a towel over his head, ice in his knee, pouting about himself. The same with Quentin. He had no idea the severity of his knee injury. It hurt like heck. He definitely hurt some ligaments in his knee, could have been blown out. He didn't know at the time. And all he was worried about was icing that thing on, getting on the sidelines and coaching his team and motivating his team and worrying about the win. That is the championship mentality that we're looking for. And I love that. That is what we need from a lot of other guys, and we have some of that. But I think that's been the difference in the past couple of weeks of that type of leadership and that type of motivation and selfless behavior from those guys. And, that's something that we want to champion. That's something that we want to continue to build on. And most of our team is that way. It's amazing. That's why we work so hard to protect, that within our program. And that's why we point it out and we talk about it and coach it. And we want to model that behavior, and there's still selfishness, and it's hard. That's the way society is. We understand that, but we're going to continue to coach it out of it. And that pull from the top has got to be much, much greater than the drag from below. because there is some of that, and we're going to continue to work on it and work on the guys at the top to continue to pull and elevate guys up from the middle or from the bottom. And I think Q is another great example of that and that leadership that we're going to miss.
John Wong.
Hey, Mark, they say in life that patience is a virtue. And you've certainly been patient on the football field, not just within games, but how you built the program up over the course of the years. I mean, we've all heard it, brick by brick, get back to work, chop wood. What can we learn about your patience, from your patience? And are you that patient in other aspects of your life?
No, patience is hard to come by in my family. I got honestly from my father, but no, I think it's, and certainly Chantel will tell you that I don't have great patience in my boys at times. But I think as I get older, I'm trying harder, and I'm not perfect. We all know that. That's a joke, but I think we try to constantly learn, from mistakes, from things you do well, and just try to do the very best you can to put people in a position and make adjustments, alter things, and just, stick to your guns on the things you firmly believe in that help build you the program. And then there's other times where you have to be willing to learn and adapt and change. And there's always a fine line there in trying to do the very best I can to put our team in a position to win.
Okay, folks, that concludes today's news conference. Coach Stoops, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we will join you tomorrow after practice with our offensive